Today, we're going to talk about some sacred sacrifice. The sacrifice that we all have to make on a daily basis. Well, we don't have to make it, right? But how applying what I call sacred sacrifice to your life can really help you work on your personal alignment, can help you motivate yourself to gain self-trust, to take the actions and the steps that you know you need to take in your life, to walk more with your God, walk more with spirit, walk more with yourself in life, get closer to yourself in life, okay? Sacred sacrifice. I am in my dance studio, got the heat blasting, waiting for it to warm up so I can take my lovely granny sweater off. We love it. I live in cozy sweaters in the winter. Let me know if you do too. So sacred sacrifice is something that came to me a long time ago, you know, sacrifice in our life of things that we need to do in order to feel better. Sacrificing things in our life that we know we need to change in order to take that next step in life. I kind of align it with another thing in my life that I like to call divine discipline, having a discipline in our lives to, you know, to make the changes we want, to have that internal freedom with self and not be in conflict all the time, because when we're doing things against ourselves that we know we may need to change or to let go of, or habits that we might need to break, a lot of the times that causes internal conflict and resistance. So it's harder for us to maybe reach our goals or our dream body or whatever the case may be, right? I've found in this life, we each have things we have to sacrifice. We each have different things that we might need to let go of. I'll give you examples, right? Is there a habit in your life that you know you're doing on a daily basis that you either need to let go of completely, or you don't have to let go of it completely, you just have to change your relationship with it. So for example, in my life, the only thing I really do in life is some cannabis gummies. That's my indulgence in life. I don't drink alcohol, rare occasion, it's poison, it's not the vibe for my body, right? I started using cannabis when I was 18, 19, on a very frequent basis, was smoking it, you know, maybe an edible occasionally. But my relationship with cannabis has, you know, changed throughout the years. And in my life now, I personally can only use cannabis on a once a week basis, a twice a week basis max. And that was a sacrifice that I had to make for myself so that I can, you know, live my best life, you know, be productive, do what I need to do on a daily basis. That's just an example of a habit that, you know, I had in my life that I had to like make sacrifice and change for. I was called by listening to my intuition, listening within, and it is given that I was being asked to not use cannabis like 4 or 5 times a week. I needed to do it only once a week in order to like live my best life, right? So that's just an example of like, look at all the things that you're using in your life, whether it is something like cannabis, or, you know, whether you have an addiction to caffeine in an extreme way, or nicotine or alcohol, or like literally anything, right? What's something that you know you can't do every single day that you know you need to, you know, cut it back or let go completely or make some sort of sacrifice in to improve your life? And when we listen and actually make sacred sacrifice in our life, then we make this energetic space and we make room for new and better things to come in our life. When we truly sacrifice for what we know we are being called to do, then making that space lets go of a lot of resistance, and change can come in. The new good light vibration energy can come in, and you'll gain this self-trust because you are doing what you know you need to be doing to take care of yourself, to live your best life, all of the above. And that's where your faith can truly build, when you're having this divine discipline by taking sacrifice in your life. And the cannabis thing was just one example, right? Like, it can literally be anything. Do you need to eat better on a daily basis? Do you need to take care of your teeth? Do you need to do skincare? Do you need to go try new things with your business? Do you need to take care of your family in different ways? Do you need to take care of yourself in different ways? Do you need to move to that place you feel called to? Like, what do you know that you have to change and make a sacrifice in order to better your life? In doing those sacrifices will bring you closer to God, will bring you closer to yourself, and truly develop this self-trust with yourself that then will impact several other areas of your life. Building the self-trust when doing sacrifice that you know you need to do as a human being is kind of the best kind of self-motivation, self-discipline, path to yourself, path to God that you can have. Because think about it, right? We've all let ourselves down in different ways, like in life. You could be doing that right now. I could be doing that right now in some area of my life, right? Where I'm not showing up for myself, or I'm not taking action on my intuition to do what I need to do. And we get let down, and we maybe aren't as motivated, aren't as feeling good, aren't as trustworthy of ourselves, of our life, of our path. And taking sacrifice in the areas that we need to take in our life, it calms that down. It helps us trust life a little bit more because you're trusting yourself more, right? And I think it can really ease anxiety symptoms in people where you need to change something and you haven't been doing it. And I understand, people have addictions in life. It's not as easy sometimes as this overnight switch when it comes to sacrifice. I'm quite all or nothing in the way I am, the way I live my life. I'm very let's just do it or I'm not doing it kind of thing. That's how I am. But I understand, everyone's sacrifice with what they need in life is going to be different. The changes you need to make for yourself will never be the same as the changes another person will make. I'm moving because this light keeps finding me. That's a good thing, right? The light finds me. It's a good thing, right? So a way to tap into sacred sacrifice in your life, to see how you need to walk with yourself, walk with God, let go of certain things, or change the relationship to certain things in your life, is to truly listen within, baby, okay? Listen within, and it is given. We all have the power of intuition and discernment and connection to our higher selves and God. And I know some people's intuition is stronger than others, but there's probably something in your life that you need to change your relationship with it, whether it's completely letting it go or just finding a new personal balance with either that habit or that action or whatever you're not doing that you need to take action on, that you need to change. And you have to ask yourself what that is, or maybe just sit and think what has been nudging on you, what has been eating at you, that thing that you need to change and let go of that you haven't listened to. And if you're not at a place where well, you may never be at a place where sacrifice doesn't have to mean completely let go of, like I said in the example of cannabis. It could just be you changing your relationship with whatever you know you need to make sacrifice in, because this life is constantly changing and evolving. Something that you might be using or doing doing in your life which served you at one point may not serve you anymore. Maybe it's a job that you loved at one point and it's not serving you anymore. So you really want to truly let go of that. Our relationships with everything in this external world will constantly change and evolve. So what in your life is not feeling good anymore, right? What in your life do you need to change and let go of? And you have to ask yourself that. And you have to make the guidelines of what you think sacrifice needs to be in your life, because it's so personal and one person can't tell you what you need to change, what you need to let go of. Like, for example, like if you drink alcohol, I know I'm talking about substances a lot in this video, but it could be anything. If you're someone who drinks alcohol multiple times a week and you know you shouldn't, if you don't think you need to fully let go of that substance in your life, then how do you need to sacrifice to change that relationship with that substance? Do you only need to do it once a week? Do you need to do it once a month? Do you need to do it once or twice a year? Do you need to do it not at all, right? And that's where we have to get raw and real with ourselves. That's where we have to truly tap into connecting with God and connecting to ourselves and just be brutally honest. And sometimes it fucking sucks, right? Sometimes it sucks to have to confront what we are doing that is hurting us, or doing that we know that we need to let go of. It can fucking suck. I get it. This world, it's hard. It can be hard, guys. But we have to get honest, we have to get real, and we have to be okay in the uncomfortability of what that sacrifice that you need to do might be. Like, it's gonna be uncomfortable to make a change, right? But when you do it, you again will gain that self-trust, that self-love, that connection with yourself, with God, that it gets easier and easier. And the beginning of any change in life, the beginning of any sacrifice, the beginning of anything is the hard part, is the uncomfortable part. But when we do sacrifice and we are doing what we need to do to take care of ourselves, to better our lives, then everything slowly starts getting better. And again, back to that example with the cannabis, when I implemented the sacred sacrifice with that substance in my life to where doing what I needed to do with it, everything got better, right? My relationship with self-trust got better. My relationship with, everything just gets better when you're doing what you need to do to take care of yourself, right? When you're making the sacrifices you need to do. And sacrifice, I think, is one thing in this world. Well, we do talk about it, of course, but it doesn't really come from that spiritual perspective. Like, what? We are all so different, but we all have something that we need to probably sacrifice in our life, or change the relationship with in our life. And it's one of the most beautiful ways that you can connect with God and connect to your spiritual life, because it'll tap you more into that completely. I mean, I love it. This is this spiritual, energetic plane, right? And a lot of the things in life that we are faced with, whether it is substance or habits, addictions, whatever it is the devil in some sense, right? It is a demonic lower energy if and only if it is controlling you, right? If it is something that you're doing and it is harming you in some way. And by taking sacrifice on these things in life, we're changing the relationship with that, and we are in a sense saying no to the devil, right? We're in a sense saying no to lower bad vibes on this planet, and we're taking our power back, and we're connecting to God. We are following our light, you know, and we're not letting darkness, darker energy, the devil, all of that control us. Because, you know, some of you might not believe in like the God and the devil and all that stuff, but in my life, I have seen over and over again that that's an existence here in this human world. The devil's here, but God is too. And it's a constant spiritual warfare battle that we are living in as a human. You know, it just is what it is to live as a human on this planet. There's darkness, there's light, there's negative, there's positive. It's the duality of this existence. In darkness and that kind of energy, it can be immensely beautiful and powerful, but we have to transmute it sometimes in our life if things are controlling us in a negative way. We have to have our personal balance with all these things in this human world, because we can't let consumption and, you know, consumption not just from like addictions or alcohol. I'm talking about consumption in several forms, right? Something that is controlling you where you don't want to be controlled, you know, or is making you have habits on a daily basis that you don't want in your life, right? And when we sacrifice, we are getting closer to ourselves and God. And sacrifice has been going on since the beginning of existence. Like I said, like, we sacrifice and we receive, you know, that's just how it is. We sacrifice by listening to God, and we are gifted, we are given, we are leveled up. And that's just a little hack. If you want to level yourself up, make some sacrifices that you know you need to make. I just love connecting and listening to spirit, the higher wisdom that comes through me, because it comes through all of us, you know. Obviously some people are more tuned into their intuition, but we all are. And doing practices like self-sacrifice, doing things like divine discipline, again, it's similar to sacred sacrifice in a lot of ways, doing what we need to do to show up for ourselves, to take care of ourselves, to have that discipline so that we gain the freedom. That's what it ultimately is. Sacrifice, discipline equals freedom. Sacrifice, discipline equals freedom. And you think that would make sense because, you know, having to sacrifice things means losing something, but does it really? Does it really mean losing something? It only means changing something, and making those changes brings in more freedom, brings in more new insight, brings in the self-trust, brings in a whole new layer of things that'll probably evolve you into your next phase of life. So I'll stop talking about it right now, but sacrifice, I think, is something so important as humans. And of course, it goes back to the dawn of time. And I think people who, you know, of course, religions sacrifice in a lot of different ways. But I think even if you aren't this religious or spiritual person, there's probably ways that you can do this in your life, because I'm sure there's something that you want to let go of too, right? All right. Oh, it's getting warmer now, so I'm gonna start to dance and stretch, but love you guys. Have a good day.